Irina. I'm happy to give you the floor, Miroslav. So please tell us a little bit more about digital art for climate, and what call for action you are prepared for artists and young developers and designers.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Christina, and also thanks to Catherine and Priscilla for their presentation before, because this was really inspiring to see how successfully they have implemented their initiative, and this gave thought also to us and inspiration to use this on a systemic level with our Digital Art for Climate initiative, through which we want to reach also young artists who perhaps don't have a lot of knowledge about blockchain or digitalization of art yet, but we will create an enabling ecosystem which will help these young people and members of the creative community around the world, that they will have an entry point how they can contribute their art in a way that it will contribute to climate goals, but also being also a new business model for artists also to engage. And I will share with you a little overview about our understanding of where the value of digital art is, what constitutes the value of digital art, and how this development of the ecosystem, blockchain-based ecosystem and registries and digital identity management and everything, how this can also be used in a next phase for creating a climate action stories and action impact marketplace that will really revolutionize how everyone can be engaged meaningfully and rewardingly in climate action. And so I will share now this overview, and also a great welcome, heartfelt welcome to Irina Karagiao from Unique Network. We've got in contact only recently, because when we looked into digital art for climate, we've then immediately got the sense that with this terrible carbon footprint of generation 2 blockchains, we cannot implement our ideas, because if we try to save the planet and at the same time with our activities destroy it, it's not a good deal. But Irina's proof of stake blockchains based on Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems are really perfect for us, and really very systemic development team, open-hearted and cooperative. We will hear about it in a minute. So let me share now my overview. It's as very often with my graphs, it's a little bit confusing perhaps, but it will be the basis for partnering and for trying to find partners. So the question is, what creates the value of digital art? Why are people ready to pay money for digital art, but on the other hand, they are not ready to pay for climate action? So how can we create an enabling ecosystem and platform and marketplace for digital art, where also people can participate who are artists but not yet in the digital world? And on the other hand, how can we learn for our climate action marketplace? So one dimension of value here is visual appearance in the digital space. That's obvious. And then the second element is the story. So if in visual art, it's a different thing, but if it's a video, if it's a text or so, there the story dimension, the heart power of an art is also a very important element. And for this, to document this, you cannot put everything into a smart contract of a non-fungible token. And therefore, there we are developing an additional communication channel, a social networking platform with True.net, which is also comparable also to Unique Network, the next generation of understanding how a digital ecosystem have to be built, which are compliant with GDPR and really treating users as partners and not exploiting their data. So there will be a possibility to tell the story about this art and also to create digital communities around these stories and the challenges that are addressed in these art pieces. Then one element, because many artists, we expect from the young artists that Doug is working with in the slums of Nairobi or whatever, they are used to create physically art murals, for instance, in slums, and we will have to create a mechanism which then creates out of this a digital twin, digital representation, digital asset, but also having an idea on how we manage the physical representation of the original art, so how to manage the custodians' rights and obligations, because Dank's idea was that we digitize the murals from slums and then really try to put it on a global marketplace, and that through this there could be a channeling of financial resources from global community towards local action that is relevant in Africa or in other places. And then the fourth element of value of digital art and also of certified climate action is that there is a clear mechanism to have certified provenance. Where does a certain certified digitized asset come from? Who has minted it? Who has approved it? Who has verified the claims that are there? And that's also management of scarcity, which is very important in digital art, because you can replicate things. You can equal NFTs from the same piece of art and still selling it in a justified way, as long as it is clear that there are, for instance, 10 examples from a certain piece of art minted. And for this, you need a mechanism that people really trust the scarcity information and attribution of ownership, and also connected with digital IDs, digital communities, and associated intellectual property rights and copyrights. And for this, we are developing also a global registry. And this is really quite an endeavor. And for this first phase, for the first call that we are now starting with DigitalArt4Climate, where we wanted to present the selection of submissions in September in Milan, in the context of the pre-COP youth event of Italian COP co-presidency. We will have a very limited functionality, and the different elements of this value chain separate, not interoperable and everything, but we will have registries, we will have the storytelling about the art and other quality assurance mechanisms. But to get this all rolling and to get also the basis for the ACE marketplace, this will be quite an investment, and which we are also aim for to mobilize with DigitalArt4Climate. And then we have three flagship initiatives for which we raise funding for the climate action story or impact and the ACE marketplace, digital innovation community, with potentially also having a digital innovation pavilion at the next United Nations Climate Change Conference in November this year. If we are successful enough with fundraising, we have avenues how to get it done, and the World Environment Situation Room youth program. And the next step, with today's event, we are starting the process, we are presenting the rationale and our partners for this journey, and saying, extending the hand also to additional partners to join us. Please visit our homepage, blotcher.org/DigitalArt4Climate. There you will find more information. and also the forums to express your interest if you would like to be a strategic partner or an artist who has some ideas how we could develop this. And then in July we will have a hackathon, and Domenico will tell about it a little bit later. But now first we will speak with Irina, because the Unique network platform has already wonderful solutions in place that we can say this digital art for climate. The basic elements are there. We can do a gallery, we can do a marketplace, and really start this process. And please, Irina, tell us about Unique Network NFT platform.
Thank you, Miro. Thank you for having me here today, and thank you for trusting us and choosing us as a partner for this fantastic initiative. Community really matters in the NFT space, and the technology is so young that we haven't really seen anything, because the recent 6 months of sort of mass adoption of NFTs was mainly about create an image, mint an image, sell an image. But Unique Network is here to explore more features and give more opportunities and power to the artists. And I will show a short presentation about our technical capacities. If you can see my screen. So Unique Network is an NFT chain for Kusama and Polkadot. Kusama, as you may possibly know, is an experimental chain and platform that is very similar to Polkadot and is considered to be a cousin blockchain, where younger projects, startups have tools and economic possibility to experiment with different blockchain solutions. And Polkadot is already a more mature and stable and secure network, which provides a level of security similar to the banking transaction system. So Unique Network will first launch on Kusama Network in a couple of months, and yesterday one of our first parachains was successfully implemented. So we are very, very close to the launch of Kusama Network, which is big news for the Polkadot community. And so the environmental impact and the reason why we are discussing today this opportunity to be an infrastructure provider for such an important initiative, Art for Climate Change, is because Polkadot as well as Kusama both use proof of stake mechanism, which depends on direct economic incentives. So well-behaved validators and nominators receive rewards, and badly behaved nominators and validators who support to run the network are being slashed, so being sort of punished for not performing and executing the correct blocks. So as main difference with proof of work systems, in proof of stake blockchains, miners do not need to solve extremely complex puzzles to prove their work, meaning that we do not need as much computational power, which does not have such an impact on the environment, does not produce that much CO2, and is not as energy consuming as proof of work. In fact, many studies have shown that the effect and the CO2 production is close to zero. But as we do not have, an exact numbers as of today, there is no research published. We will be I will not say the exact links, but consequently, proof of work has shown its power in the industry, and proof of stake blockchains are emerging and are being chosen as the environmentally friendly blockchain solutions. So in Polkadot ecosystem, we use something as nominated proof of stake, which gives even more security, and its tools ranging from election theory to game theory, and help us to develop efficient validator selection process to avoid uneven power and influence among validators. So it also solves the 51% attack problem in a proof of work environment. So Polkadot is a third-generation blockchain, which gives us additional powers in terms of true interoperability, economic and transactional flexibility, and the framework on which this blockchain is built is called Substrate, which gives developers more opportunities and more possibilities to use different libraries and to use more elements to enable any economic solution and any technological solution that was not possible to create in the previous generation of blockchains. It's a forkless blockchain. We have shared security and independent governance and economics, and it is decentralized, of course. So unique network, as I mentioned, is an infrastructure, is this medium layer. So we are relying in terms of security on Polkadot and its relay chain. Then you have an infrastructure of unique network, which is a blockchain middleware, and we have basic functionalities that are already in place, which is maintain wallets, marketplaces, and smart contracts. They're available in Ethereum environment as well. And as the unique network, we believe that these tools should be available to every artist and free of charge. Therefore, we have an economic model that supports transactions for our partners. So you do not have to, as an artist, pay high transaction fees, gas fees, so known as gas fees. And it allows us to onboard as many users as possible and make this technology truly accessible to everyone. We also are working on advanced features which will enable really different ways of creating NFTs and different opportunities for artists to express themselves, which this advanced functionalities will include flexible economic models. So you can decide on royalties, you can decide on ownership structure, on the formats you would like to use, whether it's 3D, video, whether it's kind of a metaverse, immersive environment, whether you want to also be compatible with Ethereum space. It will also be possible thanks to the interoperability and the ability of Substrate framework to support Ethereum virtual machine and any known Ethereum formats for NFTs like 721, 1155, etc. And of course, one of the most important things is this ownership structure, which includes fungibility, refungibility mode. So with refungibility mode, you can own parts and pieces of NFTs. So you can create a single art piece and then sell or rent part of that art piece, which could absolutely amazingly work with galleries and exhibitions that now you do not have to, transport your physical painting all the way to the other side of the world. You can instead just rent a digital NFT, expose it in a gallery for, let's say, a month, and then bring that token back to your wallet. So now what NFT really gives us is the opportunity to have your own digital marketplace in a wallet. And here is the example of what can be done pretty quickly. And this is unique collection of cello bricks, a special collection for Polkadot Decoded 2021, which was airdropped to all the participants of Polkadot Decoded event. So this is something that can be done very easily. You just need to connect your Polkadot.js wallet and then have your gallery. And this solution we offer as a white label. So with the UI and UX tools, with the help of designers and creative people, all these elements and logos and the way this is present, the way you see the interface can be changed as you wish, as much as the creativity can flow. But as is, we can already, this is a good tool for me to show that you not necessarily need to create something very complex and sophisticated in order to start, selling art and use NFTs as a tool for fundraising or for supporting social cause. As it can be as simple as, a piece of artwork created by a teenager somewhere in Delhi and sold on the marketplace, and then this fund can be used for purposes of education and further growth of this art initiative. So there's a serious team behind the project. Alexander Mitrovic, who is the CEO with 20+ years of IT management, and Greg Zaitsev, who is our chief architect and CTO with 10+ years of enterprise architecture and 3 years in blockchain, as well as our amazing advisors who are Kusama Council members, game developers, and USTech developers has initially supported this project from day one, and the team has been building for already nearly 2 years. So Unix Network is a winner of Hakusama Hackathon for Polkadot. It's one of the recipients of the of 5 grants by Web3 Foundation, which were received and delivered. We use proof of concept with internal research and development. Unix Network is a stand, can be an independent chain on substrate, not only parachain or parathread. Both our CEO and myself, we are a member of Kusama NFT strategy team and one of the initiators of the first ever crypto art exhibition in Beijing and Shanghai. And we are active in ecosystem in Parity and Web3, Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. So our art program includes, as I touched at the beginning of my presentation, economic models, where you can sponsor transactions, so a sponsor can decide to pay transaction for projects they onboard or artists they onboard. It can be structured in any way the owner of the gallery prefers. There are numerous formats that we can use: interactive, software, music, video. NFTs can be used as a part of the game, and this is actually an idea behind Unix Network big goal and big strategy, that NFT shouldn't only be an image, it should be something that can be used. And one of the use cases is nested NFT, like Canary Network has created a collection of eggs. So you buy an egg in a form of NFT, then the bird appears out of that egg, and then you can create relationships between other birds. They fall in love, so they have feelings. You can exchange also monetary, build relations, and there are many different ways of interactions and building NFT relationships, such as composition, aggregation, generalization, etc. Again, going back to ownership structures, that we have refundable mode. An NFT can be used in financial ecosystem and DeFi space as a collateral to lend and borrow funds, to rent rights to display, etc. So also the big part of NFT sector is, of course, gaming program, and there is much more that can be done with the art that can be created by young artists, that they can use this art and these tools in the game and create as many ways of interaction as possible. So this is really the new age of NFTs, and we haven't really seen anything, as I've been repeating myself here, but it is very important to give tools and give opportunities to young artists to participate in this space, because we are living in the creative economy, in the creative world, and some of the brightest and most talented people oftentimes do not have access to big galleries or do not have access to mentors and curators, just because they are living in not in capital cities, or everything they have is an internet. And NFTs are so powerful in this respect that anybody who has access to internet or has access to mobile phone can create an artwork, can film a video, can film music, and sell it on the marketplace, exhibit it in a gallery, and have a word and have a say and, you know, an impact in the world. Because the blockchain space is really about individuals creating impact, taking ownership of their assets and taking responsibility for their financial well-being, for the environment and for the world and for the lives. So this is it for my presentation today. Miro, would you like to?
Thank you very much, Irina. And let's also add Christina, who is our blockchain expert here. Perhaps Christina wants to start with some comments, and then we will give the floor to Domenico to present also our plans on working on the user interface and hackathons and this kind of things. So Christina, please.
Thank you very much, Miroslav. Thank you very much, Irina. It was really insightful, and I'm happy to see that the proof of stake technology is something that that is evolving, and the concepts that are greener are the ones that get more involved into the blockchain space. Even though I consider particularly important that even when we talk about proof of work, it also could have green agenda within these discussions, because, well, the question is which type of energy we use, and if it's renewable, it's totally different than when we use oil, gas, and carbon, of course, for mining. So this is also the problem that, in my opinion, recently is a very trendy discussion. I mean, Elon Musk, we know, is very concerned with climate recently, but I also have questions to his Teslas, because we never know what exactly which sources does he use for Tesla. So I think this is a very interesting discussion, and it's great that technology has solutions within its development, but also there are some fundamental approach changes that in our minds that need to be made. So yes, I'm happy to give the floor to Domenico Vito now, who is a climate leader at Climate Reality European Union Team Italy, who will tell us more about another wonderful youth initiative.
Thank you very much, Christina. Yes, I'm Domenico Vito, and from Climate Reality Youth in Italy. And together with Miro and all the other partners of this amazing project that put at the center arts and digital arts and youth, we are like defining an event, but not only, a series of events, I can say, towards the pre-COP that will happen in Italy. The first of that is an hackathon in which we want to engage youth and youth software developer to design and think about solutions for the interface of the whole system. And then also we are thinking about exhibit the piece of arts and digital piece of arts also here in Milan in September, probably because there is this great opportunity and this chance both of the pre-COP, but also I want to mention the Youth for Climate initiative. Properly today we have the names of the delegates, youth delegates that will be engaged in this amazing process. So thank you for this space, and really I have to thank Mirza for the amazing work that is doing, and also for these great ideas I think that will radically change the way to implement climate action. So Miroslav, I will
Thank you very much, Domenico. It's really a pleasure working with you. And the background information, we've had yesterday meetings and visit of a venue of the Meet Digital Culture Center here in Milano. It's really an amazing place with an exhibit of currently from Refik Anadol, this artist that already Catherine and Priscilla mentioned. And we have spoken there with the Digital Culture Center leadership that they are very cooperative, and we will have an exhibit there. Timing we will see. We will try to have it as close to the pre-COP event as possible, and especially giving the young people who will come. There will come 400 people from 200 countries of the world to Milano, that they will also have a possibility to see this kind of art. And the other element that we are talking about is an edutainment show and the digital art auction show, which also could use the auditorium at the Meet Center and connect with simultaneous events at the different locations around the world. But in Austria, we'll try to connect with Ars Electronica, Glasgow, and other cities. And so that there will be interaction, and digital art has a very low carbon footprint in terms of exhibit, and so can be transferred and can be shown in different places, and then we can partner with the cities and the local communities, local NGO networks also, that there is an exhibit of global arts, a selection of global art combined with submission of local artists. And this we will try to bring these creators from around the world in an edutainment show, for which we will also seek then partnerships with TV broadcasters and this kind of things. Yeah, and Domenico, please.
Yes, if I can add one thing properly on the Mid Digital Center, we are probably in line, because most of them are very in the line of meeting digital arts with also climate change and climate action. And in fact, in the 14th of June, they are like hosting an exhibition that's called Ode Properly on biodiversity and climate change. So thank you very much also to the friends of the Mid Digital Center of Milan that thank you.